Welcome to Skift Travel Spotlight, the future of tourism in Saudi Arabia. I'm your host, Kate Anderson, and I'm the creative strategist at Skift. In 2023, Saudi Arabia reached the significant milestone of welcoming 100 million international and domestic tourists, offering partners an unrivaled opportunity for growth right now. These ambitious tourism goals are underpinned by a strategic focus on creating a destination that is intentional, sustainable, and innovative across the entire travel ecosystem. This focus is reflected in its giga projects, from NEOM's futuristic vision to Red Sea Global's sustainable development to AlUla's blending of culture, history, and luxury. In the latest installment of this limited mini-series, recorded at ITB Berlin, Skift explores how Saudi Arabia's approach reflects a broader industry shift towards innovation, one in which constant evolution, daring to try new things, and co-creating experiences with partners and travelers are paramount. In this episode, I speak with Franck, Chief Hospitality Officer at Boutique Group, to discuss bold concepts in hospitality and experience design, and how Saudi Arabia is helping push these forward. I'm here speaking with Franck, the Chief Hospitality Officer of Boutique Group, which is a hospitality company that's converting historic Saudi palaces into exclusive boutique hotels. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Great. So innovative and intentional design are some of the most critical aspects in hospitality and experiences. And design really does touch every aspect of the traveler journey. So what do you see as innovative design actually looking like in practice, and how does it impact experiences?
Well, from our viewpoint at Boutique Group, the design intention goes beyond aesthetics. It's our link on how do we marry innovation. So innovation, that's something that a young Saudi Arabia is looking towards with culture and heritage. So how are we matching the past and the present, and how are we offering what the modern day traveler requires in his stay versus what we're trying to position, which is Saudi culture and heritage.
And how are you weaving the culture and heritage into some of the properties that you're developing?
We're working on on a physical craft side. We're working with some of the best artisans within Saudi Arabia. You know, whether it's copper work or leather work or woodwork. It's the first company that I've worked with where we have a culture and heritage team that has analyzed and done a lot of study on the history of these palaces. And so we've brought some of these crafts back to light, integrated them in our design focus. But that doesn't mean that you then have a classical product. You still have a very kind of modern product.
And you were mentioning you've spent your career in hospitality, and I saw you worked all over the globe. And so for this to be the first place you're really working with a dedicated culture and heritage team, that must mean it's pretty unique.
Yeah, correct. The attraction, it is very unique. Seldomly do you have an opportunity to work on such heritage and cultural palaces in a kingdom that's portraying this Vision 2030. So it was an amazingly unique opportunity that I had to say yes to.
And how do you see this very intentional and, again, innovative design impacting how travelers are going to be experiencing the properties themselves, but also the hospitality of Saudi Arabia?
So at Boutique Group, we're proposing the face of Saudi ultra luxury hospitality. So the Saudi people, by tradition, are extremely hospitable. So we're translating that into what does that look like in terms of service? What does that look like in terms of the emotional touch points that a guest will experience during their stay? So we're doing that with, we endeavor to have several workshops where everything is somewhat vetted to ensure that what we see as portraying true Saudi hospitality is actually correct. We're also looking at portraying what is a Saudi culinary experience. So we'll work with the Royal Commission for Culinary to vet the dishes that we will present. We'll work with some of the top celebrity Saudi chefs. So we're working in a spirit of collaboration in almost every area that we endeavor.
And we're here at ITB Berlin, where at the Saudi Arabia booth, where they have a whole culinary experience as well. So you can see it kind of being incorporated throughout the whole way they're approaching hospitality and developing their destination. So just kind of final question, taking a step back, how do you see Saudi Arabia's tourism development kind of helping push forward innovation in design overall?
Well, what's interesting is if you were to 3 years ago, so in the past couple of years, basically the global talent of high creatives are heading to Saudi Arabia. I joke around with some of my colleagues that I see some of the greatest minds in design and hospitality, when I go to the supermarket. So everybody is going there. Everybody's buying into this amazing Vision 2030 proposed by our Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. What's very interesting to see is there's a combination of going to the future and really pushing all the boundaries of design and innovation and sustainability. There's a lot of creation of new destinations, best-in-class destinations. And then you have where we're heading in kind of the restoration of antiquities, but we're likewise looking at some of the best minds, creative minds out there, to assist us in that journey. And it becomes kind of a learning process for everybody. So those that are not from Saudi Arabia, they're learning about the kingdom. And for those that are within the kingdom with all their talent, they're obviously able to enlarge their perspective on a more global scale. So overall, it's extremely exciting for everybody involved.
Absolutely. And it goes back to what you were saying earlier about collaboration. It sounds like innovation and collaboration are just go hand in hand right now in Saudi Arabia and everything that Boutique Group is doing. So thank you again so much for being with us here on the podcast.
Thank you very much, and love being on Skift.
This has been an episode of Skift Travel Spotlight, the future of tourism in Saudi Arabia, brought to you in partnership with the Saudi Tourism Authority. To learn more, head to visitsaudi.com. Thanks for listening.